Energy Radio, energyradio.co. It's the only energy you need. This is the Weekend Pregame Show. I'm MDotlive. DJ Token is here. Mrs. Sims, Nina _Boss Lady. And we have a very, very, very special guest in the building, Chris Fury.
What's up, man?
Chris, what's going on, man?
Man, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We always talk about what you think about that weather outside, man. You ready to get warm or what?
Man, yeah, but I just came back. I was in Texas for a little bit and then LA, so I get to jump around a little bit, so I don't get to.
So Texas had some storms down there, though, didn't it?
I wasn't there for the storms.
Okay,
it was 80 degrees and
good.
sun, you know?
Oh, so he coming back bragging. That's what he's doing. He's coming back bragging. That's okay. That's what's going on. Yeah. So, man. Chris, for me, it's been a minute, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time since.
Yeah. So 2016, man, how was your wrap up?
It was good. It was good. I mean, we ended on a good note. You know what I'm saying? Business is good. You know, just trying to keep it moving. Yeah, man.
You gotta love that.
Positive, no bad vibes. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we love. You know, on the Weekend Pregame Show, we always talk about that. You know, good vibes only.
Yeah,
and that's why when we found out you was coming through, man. That's
key to life, man.
It is
smiling and being happy and enjoying yourself. And, you know what I'm saying?
And we just kicking off 2017 too. So like it's a lot going on. You know, everybody's starting to put together their EPs, drop EPs for the spring, for the summer. You know, a lot going on just in the Hartford area. You know what I mean? The Rough Riders tour is coming up. That's gonna be a dope tour.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, but what you got going on for 2017? Like first quarter.
Real quick, before we even get on to figure out what he got in for 2017, introduce yourself. Let me know who you are. Who are you? Let the people know exactly who you are, some of the work you have done, and so people actually somewhat know who you are.
Okay.
I know who you are. Yeah. He knows who you are. He knows who you are. They don't know, so.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's kind of hard to describe. I mean, I'm just a jack of all trades, really. I find a place to fit in and I make my move, you know what I'm saying? I made my entire career on being able to provide a service, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was to a label or an artist or a DJ or a nightclub, whatever it was. I always just figured out a way to provide a service, and as long as you can do that, you can always find a place or a home, you know what I'm saying? I do management and marketing and branding, and I do touring and merchandising, so I've been doing this since 2000, late 99, 2000.
Oh yeah, so
99.
that's some stripes right there. That's stripes in the game right there.
Super early. So I got my first internship at 19 at a radio station, and a few months later I was working for Angie Martinez. And then
that's a big move.
Used to sit at Hot 97 every day, you know what I'm saying? And then I started to just meet more labels and meet more people. After the thing ended with Angie and Sicario, I went on to work for like Elektra and Universal, and then I mean a boatload of artists, you know.
Wow, that's a big move to be so young.
Yeah, it happened like young for me. I was never, it wasn't a music thing. I used to get in a lot of trouble, you know what I'm saying? And I just kind of bumped into, I seen a radio station one day. I stopped in. This was an AM station before, you know, the big FM stations even existed. It was like the first hip hop station in CT. You know what I'm saying? I got an internship and I got an opportunity to get on air, and from there, like the first artist that I ever interviewed was Angie. You know what I'm saying? And we just clicked, and a couple of months later, she hit me talking about she had an artist named Sicario that she just signed and all of that. So it kind of just moved from there. I had a music store for a minute for like 7 years.
Wow. Like CDs, so would you say who would your biggest influence be? Would it be Angie? Like to put you in a position?
Early on, a lot. I mean, even now, I mean, her book is phenomenal, you know what I'm saying? And people really, across the country, you know, radio stations format shows based on what she's done, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so she's super groundbreaking and for sure. But I mean, as I got older, you know, Steve Stout and Diddy and Russell Simmons and Dame Dash, I interned for Dame. Dame taught me a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that was cool. And you know, just different people. I mean, D and Shadow, or, you know, now Nelson, Johnny Shipes. There's a whole bunch of people.
Dame is big on self-branding too. Yeah, he's very big on self-branding and being the boss.
I still talk to him. You know what I'm saying? And he's a good dude. You know, he's just Dame. I mean, that's all you can.
At the
really
end
say
of the day,
about
he's part of the bigger movement that really raised just about everybody in this room.
He was the first hip hop guy to get corporate money from big companies, you know what I'm saying? Like that dude had like a $5 million deal with Keds, you know, like
and
Swiss.
And he knew what he was doing. Yeah, he was smart.
You know, and he walked into labels and got a lot of money up front for his artists. You know, crazy as he may be, like he did a lot of groundbreaking stuff. Yeah, you know?
he set the tone for a lot of people to follow him. You know,
absolutely.
So speaking of artists, not to butt in, but who are you currently working with as of right now?
I mean, right now it's like annoyed. You know what I'm saying? Like annoyed is the main focus. I still work with Chris Webby, like still the family. I still do a bunch of stuff with him. He got some new music out.
Right.
I do a little bit of work still with Jitta.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I do a bunch of outsourcing. Like I do blog work and media work for a bunch of other artists. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the bigger artists and all of that. But yeah, Annoyed right now is the main focus.
Yeah, shout to Annoyed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Brother's killing the airways right now.
That kid is awesome.
He's killing the
Hopefully
airwaves.
we can get you to get him up here one day.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. His tape comes out April 18th at Time and Place. You know what I'm saying? So maybe, that week he's kind of crazy in the city for press, but the following week we can try and get some up. I think we either have that or the first week of May, one or the other.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
That'd
where could they find Annoyed at right now, as far as like finding when he drops it? What would be the best
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook is Livin' Annoyed, LIVINANOYD, like Livin' Annoyed. And then, I mean, he's everywhere on SoundCloud. You can just type in Google. Yeah. The kid's got like 5 million impressions, So Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all of that.
Yeah, and how can everybody get in contact with you?
Chris Fury on my Twitter, Chris Fury on my Instagram, CHRESFURY1, and the number 1.
Okay. And still speaking of artists, if an aspiring artist today is coming up in the game, what would be some gems that you could give to them? If
so
any.
Many.
I know there's a lot, but what would be your top 2?
Yeah, if you had to pull something out.
I mean, really just know who you're making music for. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like I feel like I hear a lot of artists that say there's no support in CT, and I feel like that's because they're not going after real fans. You know what I'm saying? Like inner cities, they make things hot, and that's what creates the buzz, but those aren't real fans. You know what I'm saying? Real fans will buy your record, buy your shirt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
buy a piece of vinyl, buy a shot glass. I use a comparison all the time, and I say like, Chris Webby is a different side of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? For sure. But Rich Homie Quan has got 4 million followers, right? If he posts up a picture saying buy my new T-shirt, I bet you Chris Webby sells more T-shirts. He only got 100,000 followers.
True.
But 50 to 60% of his base buys everything he drops. You go to a Chris Webby show and there's 400 out of 600 kids have a hoodie, a T-shirt, a pair of socks, a tattoo. He's got thousands of kids with tattoos. You know what I'm saying? So people love Rich Homie Quan's music, but his fans aren't per se real fans. I'm sure he's got a core base. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the average person, I'm not really a fan of Rich Homie, but if he drops a dope record, I like the record. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just really say know who you're making music for.
Definitely.
Because that dictates everything for you. Where your merch goes, who you go on tour with, who you open up for. You have a conscious artist and he's going to open up for like a Rick Ross show. Like that, it don't really make sense. You know what I'm saying? You're performing in front of people who are not going to pay no mind to you. Right. You know what I mean? So
I think a big part of that, and I just put this up on Facebook yesterday, is character equity.
For sure. I mean,
character equity is a big role, and that's one thing that I learned from Wadeen over at Rough Riders was about character. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, character is a big thing. I mean, just knowing who you are as a person. I feel as an artist, you can't even really grow to be the artist you want to be until you grow as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If you don't become more responsible and you don't see life in a different light, your music's not going to see that. That's why a lot of artists, they go to LA, they go to Miami, they go wherever to record because it puts them in a different mind frame. When you see different stuff and you're around a different energy, you know what I'm saying? You become a different person in the booth. So, branding, knowing who you are, man, knowing who to sell your stuff to, one, and I guess, I don't know, number 2, I would probably just say create a team. You can't do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? And you can't afford to.
That's big.
You can't afford to pay everybody.
That's
this
big
stuff
to even recognize that.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want, everybody talks about they want to be indie. Being indie is expensive. You know what I'm saying? An independent artist will take home $1 million a year, right? They make $1 million a year. They take home 150,000 of that million.
Wow. Because
they're paying for their own tour bus, their own gas, their own drummer. An artist who makes $5,000, when he goes out on the road for hotels, vehicles, staff, and all of that, he's out of pocket $3,000 per day, wow. $5,000 a show. So he gets $2,000 a show times 30 cities. That's $60,000. But the tour itself grossed $200,000, $300,000. And then you got to pay taxes and your management out of that 60.
Yep.
So you really only bringing home 30.
Yeah, it's not
you know
really,
what I'm saying?
So
if the whole tour grows $250,000, $300,000, you bring home $40,000. And I'm not saying that's a bad living for 30 days on the road.
Yeah.
But it's expensive,
exactly. And the time invested.
You gotta have a bag. Like you really, and that's why there's only a handful of real like artists that really